heart bleed tonight if I am sad tonight? I don't have a job to find, and if I were tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hi, race fans. We're here tonight, Darlington, the lady in black. That's what they call it. And I'm going to tell you what, he can be a demon sometimes, but we're here for the Ford Entertainment Group. Sim500, and let me change that overlay because I was actually doing a race a little bit earlier. Did we get to the right one? Boom, there we go. Now it should update. There we go. But I tell you what, we're in the chase, Alex, and so we got points. And Daniel Falkenham, everybody's reset the top 16. They start with 2,000 unless you have bonus points, and obviously Falkenham and some of the other guys do, but Falkenham has the majority, so he comes in here with 21 points ahead of pretty much everybody else. 12 points ahead from second place. Jose Gonzalez at Daytona. So he's got 3 wins on the season, but yeah, starting to chase off here tonight. Talking about Daniel Falkenham, he's starting in 4th here.
Yeah, that's bad news bears for those guys starting in front of him because, usually he just kind of starts towards the back or something, then moves his way up, definitely with a purpose, and now he's starting up 4th. I think he's got his sights set on advancing pretty swiftly to the next round. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it, whether if you win, you advance, or...
Well, that was my next thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Because I'm not 100% sure either. Normally, unless I know the Monday night, their premiere one, it is win and you're in. Sometimes with their truck series, no, they weren't, which I like. I like that. That's the old style chase format. I like that. You not win and you're in garbage. You got to still maintain points throughout. So I like that, but nonetheless, we're going racing. The one thing that you just mentioned there, Falkenham being up front, but this is a tough place to pass, and you can get in trouble real quick.
Yeah, she definitely is a pretty tough track to pass at, hence why one of the other names they have for it is a track that's too tough to tame. Yes. I'm looking to see some of these guys get a little beaten and battered tonight. Get
another
that
name for
trademark.
this track that's an older name. I know Tim McBriar, man, up here in the booth one time. He knew what it was. Oh, I forgot what it was called.
The Widowmaker.
There you go. Absolutely. Yep, that's it, man. And I remember Tim first time telling me about that, and I went, "The what?" He said, "Yeah, Joe, it's the Widowmaker." I was like, "Man, that must have been for my time or something back in the day." I know because this is one of the oldest tracks too.
Yes, it is. I got the stats pulled up right here, so I'll pinpoint it for you. So they broke ground in 1949 and opened it in 1950. So this puppy's 71 years old.
Wow.
Go into it real quick. You got 2 unalike sets of turns here at Darlington, part of what makes it its own unique track. Turns 1 and 2, you got 25-degree banking. Turns 3 and 4, you got 23, so a little bit less. It's a pretty quick track. Most of the people are going to be hanging out up top where they're where everyone's single filed out pretty much now is pretty much where they're going to hang out. But also you got to look out for that Darlington stripe.
Oh, yeah. And you're right. I mean, and that's just one of the things here that happen. I mean, it's inevitable that you're going to end up with one. As you can see, when the cars go in, you kind of go in low going into the turn, but you shoot straight up the track because you get pushed. Right now, they're able to keep it down a little bit. Tires are new. You got a lot of grip. But as the run goes on, you're going to see them migrate up to that top side. As David Comstock, the man out front. Now, he is one. Let me pull up. He is actually in the chase. He is back in about 7th place spot. It's like a 9-way tie between 7th, but he's back in around 7th, 8th spot. Everybody's even. So really points right now really won't get interested until we go into next week. This race here actually is a setting stone for, kicking off the chase and where you're kind of going to be at. I usually say maybe after next race, the next week's race, is when we start seeing the guys that might break out a little bit in the chase. Now, again, it does get feathered down. So we start with 16 drivers. All right, we go 3 weeks. We're off next week, matter of fact, folks. We go to Richmond then and then Bristol, so 2 short tracks. And then it goes to 12 drivers. So it is a migration down to 4 drivers, so we go to Atlanta at the end of the season. The battle for the championship. It's I'm just not 100% sure if it's a win and you're into the next one. I don't think it is, which again I like. So there again, position, points matter. Not so much win. Alex, I've said this many a times. Consistency can win a championship.
Absolutely, and that kind of you saying that consistency can win you a championship kind of brings it back, I think, to the old style back in the day before they really came up with this playoffs or whatever you want to call it, the chase playoffs, whatever you want to classify it as. I still call it the chase, even someone else calls it the playoffs. But like back in the day, you could just keep being super consistent. Top fives, and you could be in contention just because of that. You don't even got to win.
Well, even in this, I mean, we've proven that you can do it. I mean, look at Ryan Newman. He almost pulled it off the 1 year, the whole thing. Never won a race the whole entire season and got in there. So it can be done even in the way they have it set up. And I know, in the real NASCAR, they want it all about winning. But I go back, if you're going to keep this chase stuff, I like it like this. Get in the chase. You're battling for points. You got to keep your car clean. Sure you want to win because you're ultimately going to get the most amount of points. But if you stay in those top fives, and at least until if you can get into the last final four, then it's whoever finishes in front of whoever. But it's till you get to there. If you can get top fives, top 10 here and there, I think you're going to make it to that final four.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Joe. I think you could do that. And I mean, Comstock is just putting the business to these guys. He is out there pretty far ahead. He wants to make up any ground. I mean, he's still sitting pretty good for that first cutoff right now. But I mean, those guys are all pretty even at that point. I mean, they're not pretty even. They are even in that point in the standings. So he's going to do what he can to separate himself from those guys and give himself a better chance of advancing over the next guy and the next guy, So I think he's on top of that right now. And Daniel Falkenham just kind of doing what he needs to do too, just sitting there second place. He don't got to rush it. I mean, you're only on lap 12 out of 120 right now, so he's got time. And you know how Daniel Falkenham is. Once he gets up there, good luck, man.
It's wild. I mean, and you talk about Comstock. Let's just look and see if the race, let's say if it plays out like it is right now. Comstock definitely, if he wins, that's huge points. That's going to move him out of that, let's say, 7th, 8th, 9th place spot, and move him probably in a good solid top 5. It might even move him further, but let's just say in a good solid top 5 going into next week. So he moves up drastically into the points. I mean, it might even put him in the top 3. Who knows? Calculation-wise and whatnot. But it would, even with Daniel Falkenham running right there behind him. Falkenham's still going to maintain a good pace. But a guy like Comstock coming in here, I don't want to say buried because he's even with everybody else throughout the field there. But coming in around, like you said, 7th, 8th place spot, winning a race here, that's huge because that instantly puts him right there in a good spot. That we have not brought this up with the chase, how it is. Everybody, at a certain point, let me get this. At a certain point, you can have a bad race. You really want to have those bad races, I won't say early or mid, so that you can bounce back. Because if you start having bad races towards the end, with, I'll say, the last 3 or 4 races to go before the final, then you pretty much can knock yourself right on out. You just can't catch up.
Yeah, kind of what you're talking about right there, digging yourself a hole towards the end. I'll use an example for those of you that don't know. Obviously, I'm an Earnhardt fan. So back when Dale Jr. was fighting for his championship earlier on in his, what was it, still Nextel Cup back then career, he was in the contention. He was 1-2, and then he had like 2 or 3 bad races in a row in the chase, and just dug himself a hole that he could not get out of. So that's a perfect example right there, I think, to kind of put it in perspective. If people know about that season and how that kind of turned out for him, super unfortunate. I'm not biased or anything because I'm an Earnhardt fan, but
yeah, he just didn't have the talent.
I gotta go. So
let's go back on him and see. I mean, Buckingham ran him down, but I don't know if he touched the wall prior. We're watching the pass. I don't see any damage on the car. Oh, he lost it. Yep. Yeah, he went into the turn. We're watching that. That's the replay right there. And that thing just got out from under him, and he just lost all kinds of momentum. So puts Comstock back to fourth, who had a huge lead. And guess what? That's not what the chase guys want to see. That's Daniel Falkenham out front.
no, yeah. If I was in any position besides right now, even if I was first, knowing how this guy races, I think I would be a little. How can I put this?
Yeah.
I'd be a little, frightened for my well-being.
Yeah, Gillenwater and Howard right there sitting in second and third. I'd say Comstock fell back. Kevin Brown up in the fifth place spot. Josh Parker, he likes coming from the back. Sometimes I don't know if he does it on purpose or he just has some bad qualifying. He's there. It
seems like it.
Yeah, it seems like it is, but battle for second here. Ryan Howard's going to take it.
Yeah, he's just going to move on by, and I don't think Robert really wanted to challenge it. I think he just kind of, it's like, nah, we got time left. We're just going to kind of sit back.
What makes it interesting here, you've got a lot of the chase guys in the top 10. Falkenham, Gonzalez, Parker, Howard, Ryan, Brown. Then where Mike Kelly is, I can't see right off.
7th?
Yeah, so, well, you got a lot of them right there. So that's making it, it's going to make it even tougher to have an off night, knowing that those guys are all up there. As you see, Parker's going to take another spot in fourth place. So your top 4 are all chase guys. Let's see, Robert Gillenwater, is he a chase? Yep. Actually, he's about the one that's going to benefit the most because he's actually back here in about 12 spots starting in the points. Right now, sitting third. So, yeah, that's huge, and that makes it even harder. A lot of the top 10, nothing but chase drivers.
Yeah, that makes it a little more competitive, but something that's pretty cool, too, about this group of guys here that's racing tonight is they're very good at racing each other. They know, it seems like they know the ins and outs of each other because they've been doing this for a while. So you see you see some good hard racing, and 2, you see some class acts out there. So that's always something that I think is pretty awesome to see here out of this group of guys, and I think we've already seen a couple examples of it here tonight.
And you will. You're still going to start seeing guys that are better on the long run, then guys better on the short run. We're pretty spread out throughout the field here right now. That's one thing about Darlington. We've been on some tracks here lately that the field has been kind of close quartered, but lap times here pretty. I mean, yeah, a lot of them are still in the 32. You got your leader Daniel Falkenham around a 32:03. Well, I mean 32:54. It's still, that's a half second. But it's spreading out a little quicker than what we normally would see. And here's the thing. We talk about fuel mileage, pit stops, tires. This series, they run 100% fuel. So usually it's not the fuel, it's the tires. And this place is hard on tires. So we're already seeing it. I guarantee, they're going to go halfway. You're going to see somebody put this thing. I think you're going to see somebody definitely put this thing, 65, 70 laps.
Yeah, I think some of those guys in the playoffs that are kind of maybe I wouldn't say you're in a safer position yet, because
Right.
so many of them are tied in points right now. But I still think that tonight, even given those circumstances with the points, I think we might see some off the wall stuff. As you see Parker right here coming up on.
Comstock crashing into pits. Oh man, and no caution too. So, and he's disconnected. He's done. But let's go back and watch. Down low, and then that car just came out from under him. Oh, punches the inside, and yeah, I think that car's done. He might be smoking. He tows it and goes in there, and with that much damage, there's no fast fix, and then you can just see he pretty much is out. Wow, so now that definitely will hurt you points wise.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not ideal. I feel like, was it Darlington earlier this season where he was just having problems keeping the car under wraps? Because I feel like we've had the same issue with him doing that same thing before, where he just could not. He just lost it before, and
okay, Darlington, Walkenham won Darlington the last time. Let's go back and see where. If I can't go back and see. Let's see if Comstock finished 16th. 55 laps down, so yeah, he disconnected. So I must have had issues here at Darlington last time also.
Because I feel like he was in pretty close to the same situation. He was running quick, and I feel like he just deteriorated a little faster than everyone else, I think it's the same thing that happened again.
And that's the thing too, is now pit stops. Now we were just talking about pit stops a minute ago. Normally most of our track position has been king, and tires really haven't mattered. This is a track to where I really feel like tires will benefit you quite well. And Ryan Howard is the first one on pit road who was up front in third. So opting to come in at lap 42. So that's going to put him trying to do the math, folks, here in my head. 60 to the 80. Oof. I don't know. I've been a little early. I don't think he can make it all the way. You're asking 80 laps, but I mean, there again, they might go 80 laps.
Yeah, if that's the route he's going, I think this is definitely a gamble play.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to see most of the guys go probably just past halfway, I think 65-ish, 70 maybe. That's kind of what I'm thinking we'll see.
And here's the thing about that. Okay, you're out here. I don't know why coming in here. Obviously, he must have been falling off pace, which he was only in third place. But with that, he must have felt like the car was falling off too much. But even with him coming out here, even if he makes up all this ground, by the time he makes it up, like you said, they're going to be pitting. He's going to have to pit at least by lap 90 if he wants to be able to come back through the field or have enough time to come back through the field. Obviously, a caution would definitely help him. But if he waits, I'm going to say if he waits to lap 100 or 105 or something like that, he's just not going to have enough time to come back. He's just going to run out of time. So at some point, he's going to have to. And if one of these drivers out here, let's take, for instance, Daniel Falkenham. If Falkenham decides to push this thing to, if he can go 75 laps, if he can go 75, 80 laps, then we know Howard can go the rest of the way of the field, and that's his play. But I don't think they can. But anyways, if Daniel, let's say, pushes this thing to, let's say, 70 laps, that really forces the hand of Howard, I think, to have to pit on lap 90. The problem is he's only going to have 20 lap newer tires, and I just don't think it's enough. So I don't really know, what the play is here on this one. Can't figure out that pit strategy too much.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you were just explaining, we'll see it as the rest of the race transpire.
Cautions always can mess up everything. You know that, and I know that.
I didn't want to say it, so.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's Darlington, anything can happen. I mean, these guys get out here and obviously get up on the wall. This place just has a tendency to boom, get out there and bump somebody on the wall. So
it's like it just shifts over and hits you.
Look at that, what's that? That's a Sterling. That's not Sterling. Sterling Marlin throwback. Yeah, Kodak car. Didn't Sterling Marlin drive that back in the day? Ken Schrader or Sterling Marlin won? Won't say Sterling Marlin.
I'll have to
Google that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think who drove the Kodak car back in the day? That is a throwback car. That is a throwback, and I want to say, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Sterling Marlin, but it could be Ken Schrader. But
that would be a Sterling Marlin car.
Okay. I thought it was. I know the Silver Bullet Tours is a big one with his, but I remember him further on back running a Kodak car. It just clicked in my mind. I mean, that's a good throwback paint job. About like what it was.
Yeah, that's the one I remember. It's a Coors Light one.
And I know you're a kid, but you don't know what Kodak is. So.
Isn't it it's a spaceship, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a film or something for cameras.
Yeah,
camera covers.
They don't make it anymore. Actually, I don't think Kodak's around anymore. It actually went out of business. The digital world took them out of it. Yes, they made film for cameras, and if you've ever seen it, maybe you'll have to look it up on the Google archives. But one of the cameras actually made the picture right there for you. It actually came out of the camera. Kind of cool, so I think.
Yeah, and just so you know, didn't read it off the hood of the car where it says Kodak film. I had a little bit of knowledge on it.
Yeah,
I promise.
Promise.
I did.
There might be some young ones out there going like, Kodak, is that a candy bar? Is it like Klondike?
There's a rapper from Chicago whose name is Kodak Black.
Oh, okay.
But maybe that's a little...
Yeah, that one might be. Yeah,
the youngins, you know.
Yeah, I don't know who that one. You got me on that one. We always know Josh Parker out there in the Interstate Battery. You know, that's a throwback to Bobby Labonte. Definitely out there, and then this man Daniel Falkenham. But I'm gonna say if anybody can step up to the plate and maybe knock Falkenham off of it, and you can already see Josh Parker got a little bit of crunch on the right side, so he's got his stripe for the night. I think Parker can be the man. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from anybody else on the track, but Falkenham is definitely, or Parker is definitely strong enough to get it done on Falkenham.
Yeah, he is. He's been making up a little bit of ground every little bit, so it seems like Josh Parker just, I don't know how he does it.
I don't either. No.
Like, you start decently back there, okay? You're not even in the top 10. What? You said he started 12th or something, right? Mm-hmm. Once they started single filing out, that just spreads the field out a little bit more. And the way Comstock was rolling up front the first part of this race, and how Falkenham was chasing them down, and you and I both know, and everyone that's watching, Daniel Falkenham, once he's out there, like I said earlier, like, good luck.
Yeah.
But
And I
somehow,
gotta look here. That's Jose Gonzalez. I think we missed more to that wreck with Falkenham. Jose might have got involved with that along with Scott Simley. Like maybe some checkup or something going on, and just Tom Shot got the worst end of it. But you see, Jose's kind of beat up a little bit.
yeah, I think he's not going to really push it too hard tonight. He's got a little
Good
bit
spot,
of
5th place.
damage going on, but so I don't think he's going to push it too hard. He's still got that points gap ahead of most of the guys that are in the playoffs. So he's just going to do what he can. As you can see, the back car is inverted.
Now, we were talking about, and I don't want to get off of that, but we're talking about Ryan Howard. Tires. He just ran a 30.96 to a 30.58 of Falkenham. So that tells you right there the magnitude of tire difference here. And this racetrack. The problem is he's 29 seconds back. And again, even though he's running not quite 2 seconds a lap faster, it still just takes time for him to catch. I'm interested to see how he does this second pit, and this right here is not going to help him, running up on a lap car that's like taking the lane he needs, but he's able to make it run because that slows him up a lot. But I'm interested to see what this next pit stop's going to be about.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because I still don't got it pegged. We're getting close to that point that we brought up earlier. Well, you brought up, that you brought up earlier in the next, 5-10 laps or so.
Water's on pit road.
We'll see. This pit mark, so maybe that's what Robert G's doing. He's just kind of cutting it in half.
If I'm Falkenham and Parker, if I know the car and the fuel's going to go that amount of laps, where I'm sitting at right now, I'm going to take it as far as I can, because there's nobody else out here that is anywhere near close. Howard now is up to 7th, but he is still 26 seconds back. Sure, he will take the lead as the third place man Kevin Brown's on pit road. He will take the lead from Falkenham. The bad thing is that lead won't be that far, and Falkenham is going to be the man with the newer tires. So then Howard's going to have to think about, when do I pit? Because the longer he stays out on the track, he's going to be losing time.
So I'm going to play the devil's advocate here.
All right.
And go. So what? He pitted at 20 laps ago? It was lap 42 is when
41.
Howard pitted. Excuse me. So he's been running those tires pretty hard for 20 laps trying to make up.
Lap times haven't dropped off though. He ran a 31.28 that last time, so he's still a solid over second faster than Falkenham.
But
right,
if I'm Falkenham, do I pit soon and give him that lead? Because it'll give him time to more than enough time.
He's going to get the lead no matter what, because it's only a 23-second gap, and and I know it takes 50-some seconds for a total pit stop on and off. So, he's going to get the lead. It's just a matter of how much of a lead. It's Parker's on pit road, so Parker's doing the short pit. So now when does Falkenham come in? Interesting. And, never mind. Here he's on pit road.
Yeah, here we go.
He split it then. He went, 65?
Yeah, I think this is probably the right call for him.
It is. And you're going to see Howard is going to take the lead. The thing about it is, though, when he takes that lead, how much of a lead. You know, remember Falkenham had him down a lap, and Howard had to get that lap back. So he was a clear, you know, racetrack around. Obviously, I don't think Ryan Howard's going to have that much of a lead now, because he just went by Falkenham on pit road. Falkenham should be coming. Coming off pit road, but he's actually getting tired. He's coming off pit road now. Interesting to see. It looks to be it's only going to be maybe about 20-some second difference. So, I think Falkenham's going to be able to get him.
Yeah, I think he is at the, because what now he's got 24 lap newer tires than Howard, and you know, like we talked about earlier, this place will just eat them up.
It will.
Like there's no tomorrow. So I think
Ryan's still running some good lap times. He's running 31.70, so he's not as slow as what Falkenham was when he was chasing him down. Falkenham should be in the 30-second bracket with those newer tires. So he's going to be close to second and a half. I'm going to say, wait and see, he crosses the line here. Falkenham does. This is lap time, and he ran a 30.67 to 31.97, so it's the second, not quite a second and a half. They're not as quite as fast as what Howard was running him down in, but Howard's tires will fall off, should fall off quicker than what Falkenham's will, and he's got plenty of time to catch him.
Did Parker mirror Falkenham on that pit stop?
Parker right now is out. He is don't know why Parker, because he pitted actually. He's only 2.3 seconds back from Falkenham, which is huge, because here's the thing. Parker pitted at 63, Falkenham at 64. There's a lap difference in those tires, and obviously there's a huge difference in time. Falkenham ran a 30.78 to a 31.20. So
I think Josh does a great job. I think Josh does a great job of maintaining those tires, and that's how he's so good at those long runs. So I think it'll come into play for Josh here in maybe 20, 25, 30 laps or so.
I'm with you on that one. I mean, I don't know how hard Falkenham's running. He ran a 30.56, because just Falkenham's always fast. And we don't know how much Parker is maybe trying to save to have something left. The thing about a track like this, though, we've seen races before that you sit and you try to save tires. The bad thing is the tires fall off so much, or they equalize so much, that even if you try to save them, it doesn't matter by the time that the end of the run comes around. Let's see how that plays out on a track like this. You can already see them up on that wall now, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you could definitely tell the difference. I wonder if Howard's going to try and two-pit it tonight. I'm curious on that one, too. I mean, can he make it all the way? I mean, we've seen those guys pit at 64, 60. I mean, he's got to go 80 laps. I think, honestly, if he tries to go the whole way for the rest of the race, I think he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah. At this point, I'm with you. At this point, I think he needs a caution. We want to see it go green flag all the way. I know Falkenham and them does. There's only going to be about 50 laps left here soon. That's a lot.
Yeah,
Parker's
I think
falling off the pace for some reason. Parker's not. He's got damage, I know, on that car, and I don't know how much that might be affecting him. But Parker's not as fast as what he was.
I think he'll come. That's just. I think he does. Maybe he does have those bad qualifying times.
Yeah.
And
He could. I mean, he could.
here.
Yeah, and he could. I'm with you on it. I mean, and I'm looking at the lap times of guys like Kevin Brown, who pitted at lap 60, he's still running 31:07. The Parker's running 31:44. That's what I'm kind of looking at. And then looking at also Gillenwater, Falkenham up there is running 31:17, 31:24. Now Howard's falling off to 32:10, which is only a second difference between those two. It's about normal for 20-some lap different tires, but still, I'm just kind of looking at the Parker's lap times, and they're not. Ran a 31:26 that time, but still, I don't know. Maybe he got caught up in traffic or something, and I'm just not seeing it. Just looks like he's a little bit off the pace. Some good battles throughout the field, though.
Yeah, it looks like you got Brown working Ryan right there for that battle we were just on.
Yeah, talking about Jeff Ryan. Remember, you said he'd get up to eventually top 10. He's right there in 11th place spot.
Yeah, he's fighting. He like I said, it seems like he's been doing a good of kind of doing what he needs to do. I mean, by the looks of it, looking at the point standings, he just snuck in.
Yeah.
Because he's 11th, quote unquote. I mean, those guys are tied, but
I want you to see something 15th? Here. Yeah, I know where he's right there, but our leader is right behind Ryan. Is right behind them. Watch that car. It's starting to get very loose, and it's getting about that time where those tires are getting So I don't know how long he can hold on.
For
right there. Oh, are you kidding? Oh man, caution out. Well, I know Ryan wanted a caution. He didn't want to be the caution. That right there, we saw that car came out from under him, and the number 8 of Randy Yoakum, nowhere to go, caught the back end of him and slammed right into the wall. Howard goes. So we've said it time and time again, lap traffic, but that was no fault of lap traffic there. That really just was. Ryan stepped out loose on him, and that car was getting loose lap after lap if you watched it.
Yeah, that cat looks a little melted here.
Ouch. Give me a break. And that's heartbreaking for him, though, because, now he knows he's got to come into pits. This actually, though, might... Well, the damage is what's going to really, really hurt him the worst. But this here... I mean, he's going to come in the pits, obviously get his 4 tires. He didn't want to be the caution. If I'm everybody else, yeah, Daniel and all them, I'm coming into pit road too. This place is so hard on tires, you might as well take the event, take the tires here. We normally don't see this late like this.
Usually, I mean, I'm with these guys that are coming down pit road right now. I think this is a smart... I mean, granted, you pitted, 10, 15, maybe 20 laps ago.
So bad.
So I think a 40-lap shootout.
Now, you did have some guys that didn't pit. Jimmy Coleman is the first one. And you've got about 7 or 8 guys. Well, looks to be about 7 guys did not pit. So... you're going to have to be mindful coming out of this pit road here with these newer tires, because you're going to be a lot faster than these guys. You have to be very careful around pit road. Actually, though, I think some of them guys might... My bad. Some of those guys that didn't come into pits actually was getting wave arounds. They might have been getting wave around. Yeah, I think they were the wave around cars. So that puts Falkenham back out front. I was going to say... I thought those other cars out there that were still on the track were going to be in front, but they were wave around cars, my bad.
Yeah, now look who's back up front.
Yeah, and he's on brand new tires. Wow. This could not have played out any better for Falkenham. Sometimes, we know he's good. That's no question. And a lot of the guys out here don't want to take anything about anybody else, but we know Falkenham is just good. But when you also give a driver that is good like him luck and fortune on the track and just everything playing in his favor, that's a hard recipe to beat.
Yeah, and look who came up too on pit road right there. Mike Kelly.
Yeah, Mike Kelly back up to fourth. Kevin Brown having a good run in third. Robert Gillenwater. Remember Robert Gillenwater, like we just talked about, he's one of the chase drivers who came in here around about 12th in the points. So he's back there. Obviously he's one of the two, they're all 2,000, but he's back there. So if he can come out of here with a good top three, that's going to put him in a good spot. Working his way in, going into the next race of the chase.
I believe he qualified first for this race, so we know he's got a quick car.
Yes.
So does he bring it home and capitalize on that?
Well, I think he's going to have to wreck Falkenham. That's pretty much it.
Look, you say once that white flag waves, they can kill each other.
And there you go. But there is a rule in Sim500: if you wreck, well, the win, you don't get the win. Oh, there you go. The nail into that one there. But no, I mean, I don't want him to get up there and wreck it. I mean, don't wreck him. I mean, but I'm just saying, I really don't know. I'm not going to say Gillenwater's not fast enough or nobody else is not fast enough to get to Falkenham. It's hard for us to sit and say, it's hard for us not to say we've not seen anybody do it yet. And when I say it that way, I don't say it in a like, oh man, the rest of the guys out here just don't know what they're doing and they can't race or they can't keep it up. Falkenham has dominated that much. I mean, he's got 7 wins this season. And it's put him out here. So you're going to have to get him off his game. You're going to have to get on his back bumper. Don't let him get a lead like this. Get on his back bumper. Harass him. Don't let him get in clean air. And just try to get him off his pace is about the best thing I know to do. But he's a tough one to get done. I mean, he's a tough one.
Yeah, that guy's got his head on straight. So,
I mean, there's guys out here that can do it. I mean, Gillenwater, Kelly, Parker, those guys, a lot of those guys on the track can get up here and race with Falkenham. I just think everything has went his way. And right now, I mean, you see Gillenwater's there, and this is kind of what he needs to do. He needs to be up there on that back bumper, maybe try to peek on the inside a couple times of him, make Falkenham use that car, run a different line, make a mistake, mirror drive, something. Don't let him have that comfortable lead where he can just hit lap after lap his own pace. And Mike Kelly right now has got damage on the back. You can see it. That's probably going to hinder him. Parker, remember, got that little bit of damage on the side. We'll have to see if that hurts him some. As Brown sits here in 5th. You got Ritter there in 6th. Ryan 7th, Howard 8th, Coleman 9th, and Gonzalez up in 10th.
Yeah, I saw that damage on Mike Kelly right there. I think it's playing him. I don't think it's really being too much of a hindrance to him, as it looks like Josh Parker from this point of view.
Handling might be the biggest thing on him.
Goes past him.
Yeah, handling in the rear might be the bit. Thing might get a little bit tail happy on him coming off the turn, but I'm with you. It might not be, but here comes Kevin Brown around him too.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, and it might be, and we just don't know it. I mean, we're not inside the car. He might be wrestling with it right now. Really good showing. Parker is coming up. Gillenwater's not letting Falkenham, get away. Have to see how much he can hold there with him.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Robert Gillenwater needs to do. Just like you were saying, Joe, he needs to stay up there, keep Daniel Falkingham honest, because Daniel's just been great. I mean, it's what, after he passed Comstock, it was his race. So I think not letting him get to that lead, and now with Josh Parker coming up, as good as we know that all these guys are that are hanging out up here are, I think we're in store for
got a who's who right now of fast drivers of Sim 500.
We might as well just play eeny, meeny, miny, mo with these guys.
I still go back to as long as Falkenham's out there, and what he wants to see is obviously Parker and Gillenwater battle. You know, tear their tires up, let him just get away. If they start battling, that's pretty much what's going to happen. Right now, Gillenwater's holding his own with Falkenham. It's just dead even. I mean, the last laps, here's the last lap times. 30.73, 30.72, 30.73. Top three. I mean, wow. Parker's going to try it, man. Look at that move.
It works out for him, and Brown's now getting in the mix too.
See that? So good battle. See Kevin Brown, like you said, right there with him in the mix of all this.
Yeah, I think if they let Daniel Falkenham get out a little too far. But seeing, too, how good on the long runs that Josh is, he is definitely within striking distance. Because we saw him start really coming up, I'd say probably after like 15 or 20 or so. So we know he's good on those long runs, so we'll see if he's able to capitalize from his position that he's in now versus starting in 12th.
Lap-wise, it's close up there. Parker ran a 75 to a 73, Gillenwater a 79. If Parker maybe could hook on the back end of some draft, he might be able to slingshot his way up to the back end of Falkenham. That time, it was a 96 to a 79. So Josh was able to make some ground up, and he lost it in the turn a little bit. But watch him go down these straightaways. He's able to pull up on him. Right there, he
closes in going into the turn, and then it seems like the second half of the turn, Daniel Falkenham kind of pulls away just a tad. Or a little more than a tad.
He does, yeah.
Know?
Parker's going to, I mean, right, that last lap time, they were split by only 1/100th of a second.
Now, that's some close racing.
Yeah, that's 96 to a 95. That's crazy. And then Robert Gillenwater ran a 95 also. So, yeah, 96, 95, 95.
Now you get Tommy Ryan, too, in this line in the top five, who's had I'd say a pretty quiet
that time,
night.
85, 83, 83, 86 was the top four, and then a 90 for Tommy Ryan. So those top five guys are under a blanket, and it is a dead heat between them. But Parker, he's harassing the back end of Falkenham. This is what it needs.
This is what's gonna bring them off the high end of that hole. But
Parker lost a little bit on that one.
Are they gonna finish? Yeah, he lost probably a good car length or so right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still those top five cars right there. See Kevin Brown, he's going to ride on Gillenwater, but those top five cars are just running under a huge blanket here.
Yeah, let's see if Kevin Brown can get it done here on Robert G. And now Tommy Ryan's coming up real quick, too, so Tommy Ryan's up there in the points, too. We haven't really talked about him much tonight. He's been one of those super consistent guys throughout this season.
Came in about fifth in points, fourth, fifth in points.
Yeah, it just goes to show right there that consistency can play very well. And because I think Tommy Ryan is one of those super consistent guys, and he's had some bad races. Granted, he's caught the He drew the short straw on a couple of them, but just makes up for it with his level of consistency, and it seems to have paid off so far. And now he's rolling in this top 5 group that is just cruising away from the field.
It is. I mean, they have moved away, and Parker is just running dead even lap time. So is Gillenwater, along with all these guys. I mean, it is just a dead heat so far.
Yeah, I think
and it's frustrating as a driver. I mean, you know, and I know there, Alex. It's frustrating as a driver. You know, you got a fast car. It's like Parker sitting there, but he just can't make that ground up.
It all comes down to patience. I think both of these guys up front, 1 and 2, have some great levels of patience. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of these guys that are in contention here in these playoffs or the chase or whatever you want to call it, a lot of these guys do demonstrate that high level of patience because they do know how to race each other, like I touched on earlier. And this is what I was fearful of, was 1 or 2 of these guys pulling away a little bit, and that's what's happening right now with Daniel and Josh right here up front. They're separating themselves. It looks like Daniel's catching a little burst of speed, putting a little bit of separation between himself and Josh. So I'm curious to see if Josh is going to be able to reel him in. No pun intended for Daniel Faulkner's sponsor being
bait shop. Yeah. I mean, that last lap time, Faulkner was about a 10th faster, and that translates to what you're seeing on the field, the track right now. Parker's there. And he needs Faulkner to make it a little bit of bobble, but that's asking a lot. Spreading out a little bit. You got Gillenwater in 3rd, Brown in 4th, Ryan in 5th, Mike Kelly still hanging on to 6th, Jimmy Coleman 7th. Ryan Howard's been able to bounce back up to 8th, though.
Yeah, there he is. I think all he's got to do tonight is just kind of finish. I think he's going to do I think that's all he's going to do, and just get what he can and bounce back from his incident, as I'll put it. So I think he's doing a good job of that right now. Rolling 8th. Hey, a top 10 right now at the first race of the chase. You're not sitting that bad. So
no.
I think he's doing a good job of kind of bouncing back from that, kind of hanging out where he is right now.
And you got Howard there, and Coleman and Mike Kelly in front of him. Got a good battle going on side by side. Kelly gets a little rub on that wall again.
Yeah, I think that damage is really coming in with Kelly, because he restarted 3rd or something.
Throw this out, the
believe.
Gatorade car. That's a throwback to Darrell Walter, man.
DW.
Yeah, it's not a car that I'm gonna say a lot of people. Well, there is a lot that do, but a lot that might not associate him with it. Mountain Dew's his more famous car that a lot of people know him by. But he did drive the Gatorade.
Yeah, I think. Right? Didn't he drive a red
Mountain Dew car?
Didn't he drive a Bud car a little bit?
Yes, he did. Yep.
Early 70s or something like that?
Early, yeah. That was before the Mountain Dew car. I believe.
Let's see what good old Google tells me.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly when, but I think you're right. It was around about that time when the Mountain Dew machines were. Mountain Dew's one of his most famous ones, but yeah. Parker, unfortunately, is falling off the pace behind Faulkenham, and Faulkenham's just riding off in the sunset. Gillenwater's back there, too, so your top 3 are pretty spread out. Got Tommy Ryan back and forth as he got around Kevin Brown. Was in 5th. The top 5 guys right now as everybody's kind of spreading it out as this thing's coming to a close. About 19 to go here? Is it 15 to go? As Alex is head deep in research over.
Yeah, it says in the mid 80s, Budweiser sponsored both of Junior Johnson's Chevrolets for Darrell Waltrip and Neil Bonnet.
Okay, that's right. Okay, I know it was around that area, and that would put him. That's probably about the time, unfortunately, how he won the '85 championship, which I still to this day don't how because Bill Elliott dominated that.
He just didn't have the talent.
He probably did. A lot more wins than Junior in 1 year. He had like 13 wins in that season.
I'm going to leave for the second time.
and as much as JR wants to say he's a super speedway guy, Bill Elliott still is the main super speedway man. He dominates Talladega, Daytona.
I'm just going to agree to disagree on that one.
Just going to like slide under your desk and like,
Yeah, now you got me perking up a little bit.
Yeah. Look it up. Earnhardt Senior. Yeah. Earnhardt and Elliott, man, they owned the super speedways, man. They were super.
I'll give that to you, but there's only one throne, my good sir.
It ain't Junior. I give you that.
I'll say in the more modern era, maybe.
Good night.
But
Right now, Falkenham is well, he just came out of the turn sideways. Now, Parker might want to see that if it just keep going on around. But right now, Falkenham is the man on the track, dominating. And he has dominated this season, the regular season. And, I'll say right there, though, that's probably something Falkenham don't want to feel. That car's stepping out from under him every turn. And he's still got, 10, 13 laps to go?
Yeah, he does. Maybe he's got, he caught a case of the Comstock, which is how I'll put it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe pushing it too hard with those guys in his back window.
Something we'll have to keep up on here because he is coming up on some lap traffic. And right there, you see it again. I mean, and every time he does that, true, he as long as he can hang on to it, he's really not going to lose a lot, but it should tear the tires up. But you just never know. That thing can come out from under him one time.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify right now, that's not a shot at David Comstock. I have no personal vendetta with the guy. It's just the similarities. Just to clarify, the similarities on the track.
And unfortunately, Comstock, this might be one of these tracks where it's just his Achilles heel. Yeah, it's his Achilles heel. He just does not agree with him. He doesn't like it, or he might like it, but it just doesn't run good. Some tracks are like that, bad tracks for guys. But Falkenham right now, it's a little straight right here. But Parker, I gotta give my hats off to Parker. About the straightest looking car on the track.
Yeah, I think to go into those like Achilles heel tracks and whatnot, I'm pretty sure that this is the one earlier in the season that gave David Comstock trouble.
He disconnected in it too.
You had the stats up.
Yeah, he disconnected in it also, so he obviously had a bad race then.
Yeah, I think the same thing happened. Yeah, because if my memory fares me well, I believe he had a pretty strong car that night also.
Well, you do pull for the Earnhardt, so your memory sometimes is,
And I was in the Marine Corps, so,
Once you didn't get hit by no IED, we're good, man. Don't want nothing like that happening to you.
We'll leave that in the file that's in the closet.
Gotcha. Falkenham definitely knows how to drive that thing, and he's got a 2.5 second lead, almost 3 second lead over Parker. Last lap wise, though, he's still running 32:10 to 32:24 over Parker, so he is still laying down some fast times. I mean, I don't know, how do you stop a guy like Falkenham? It's just every time he comes on the track. You know, and we're starting to sound like the broken record up here. You know, what do you do as a driver? I mean, when a guy out here is running that consistent and that good.
Yeah, I think right now we're kind of set. We got 4 laps to go. Like you said, Daniel Falkenham knows how to drive that car he's got. I mean, I'm not going to call it the brick on wheels because we're not at a road course, but you know, he's doing what he needs to do. I mean, what is it? He's the leader in the points, and here tonight, how he's been racing, it just goes to show.
Sure.
Parker doing a good job. You know, he's good on those long runs. Started 12th, coming in right now, second place. Robert Gillenwater, you know him, how he rolls.
Jose's probably the one coming in points-wise is going to really hurt. Just Parker should leapfrog him points-wise out of here. Jose, last week's winner, back here in 12th, but I mean, you know, still not bad. Again, and almost direct right there. That was almost identical to, and that was right in front of Parker and him. Almost identical to what happened earlier we saw with Ryan Howard. Bounce off the wall and almost nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was pretty close, Joe.
Close.
I mean, you know who I'm not seeing tonight is Mr. Woods.
I know he's not there, but final lap, white flag. One more time down the back stretch, 3 and 4 for this guy, Daniel Falkenham. Dominated the regular season, and in race 1 in the chase, he's going to put it in the books in the victory lane. Josh Parker's coming out, going to put it in there in second. Robert Gillenwater is going to bring her home in third. All right, what a good race these guys made coming here tonight.
Yes, it was, and I'll say that Joe and I will have to get up with the league admins and whatnot, because I cannot find anything on their website in the rules or nothing about how, like, if you
Maybe
win,
one of the
you
top
advance.
guys will know, like Gillenwater or one of them.
I mean, we could ask him. Maybe we'll just leave it for Daniel Falkenham, because you know that guy's just been cruising. So maybe he knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two.
You see him victory lane a lot. All right, there's Josh. I found Robert.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was waiting for him to be like, "Huh?" or like chime in or something right there, real quick.
I don't see where Gillenwater is. We'll see if he comes up. Well, let's bring up second place man here,
He's
Parker.
in the Sim500 Mafia, so you know.
We'll bring up Parker here, second place man. Let's get a word with him.
Josh Parker, Alex up at the booth. You got me?
I got you guys.
What's up, dude? So starting 12th, excuse me, coming up through the field pretty good. I mean, okay. So before I go into anything about the race, I need to know, because Joe and I have talked about it countless times. Do you just have like bad qualifyings, or do you do it on purpose and then come up through the field, man?
During the regular season, when I was kind of no, I don't do it on purpose. Tonight I spun out. I was waiting for as late as possible to get the track to be cool. So I ended up spinning out, and I didn't have enough time to run a second lap. So no, the plan was definitely not to not qualify. I actually told my spotter / crew chief / buddy Adam that I need to work on qualifying in the playoffs for Sunday and Monday nights, and obviously I failed at that.
You know, that was your chance to say, man, of course I'm the man to come from the back of the field, you know.
Because it seems like no matter where you qualify, you're always headed to the front, and then you get there and you're up in contention, dude. So I just want to clarify, because it is a pretty cool phenomenon to us over here. I think it's awesome. Joe thinks it's awesome. So we think it's pretty cool. But talking about the race tonight, you did it again. You came up from 12th. You came up all the way to the front. You were slicing and dicing through these guys like you were a hot knife through butter. So, is this one of your better tracks, let me ask you, or is it not?
Man, I love Darlington. The Darlington is one of the original tracks from iRacing, one of the first ones that was released. And I sat on the pole here, I think, in the first year of the Coke Series back in 2010. I should have won the race, but I gave it up. I ended up getting caught up in a wreck, and it got away from me. So ever since then, I've been really good here for some odd reason. But yeah, I tried qualifying. Clean air in any car in this sim is huge. So once I got to Dan on that first run, I was kind of stuck. I mean, I caught him pretty quick, and then the second run, I was just trying to save more tires to kind of balance out the one lap that Dan pitted after me. Luckily, we got a yellow to kind of bunch us back up, and the clean air was just key there. I couldn't really do anything. Once I got to his bumper, he just went, and that was it.
Well, definitely seeing how that went with the race tonight, getting yourself some good points too, because you were 12 points behind coming in. I think that'll make you jump Jose, definitely, for that second place spot in points. I know it's a first race of the playoffs or whatever. So, but coming up through the field to the front pretty swiftly, like you said. A little difficult to pass Daniel, but that's old news. Everybody in the league knows it. Man, you got anybody you want to shout out or thank for this race here tonight? I mean, it was a pretty good show out from you tonight.
Yeah, I got to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Everyone over at Team Name, Dan, Chad, Comstock, Kevin, Beasley, Spotter Adam, Interstate Batters, everyone over there for what they do for me in NASCAR East Side. New games coming out, and
about NASCAR 21.
That's right, NASCAR Ignition. That's right, new thing.
Yeah,
that's right.
Ignition. Yep.
That's right.
I'm a little out of the loop in.
Gotta ask a question real quick on that one. What do you think about it?
What do I think about who?
What do you think about it?
Well, I haven't. So I have personally, obviously, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, from what I've seen and read, and you know, the little trailers they let out, and the people who have tried it, what they have told me is, you know, I'm excited. I feel like it's going to be a huge step. I feel like everybody should probably try this game. You know, it has an R Factor background to it, so.
Yeah.
If you remember Arca Sim Racing, I think this is going to lean towards Arca Sim Racing, but console version, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, if they implemented the R Factor physics into it right, it's going to be on for a console game. I think it'd be on par with iRacing if they did it right. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, I was curious.
That's right. I agree. I agree with that. And you know, let's pray. Let's hope.
Yep. All right. There you go. Third place,
yeah,
man.
So...
yeah, my bad. That's your second place, man, right there. Josh Parker bringing it home tonight. So let's bring up third place guy, Robert Gillenwater here. Let's get a word with him.
Robert G. Alex up at the booth. You got me, man?
Hey, Alex. Got you, bud.
What's up, dude? So seems like a pretty I don't want to say quiet, but kind of quiet race from you up until, I mean, you were kind of hooking and jabbing up in the top 5 for a decent part of the race, top 10 or so, and then towards the end you kind of came up a little bit more with these guys. Is Darlington one of your stronger tracks, or is it one of your, I'd say, worst tracks that you're somehow good at, even though you don't like it?
For some reason, Darlington's always been a pretty good track. When I first started iRacing, I actually got to run around here with Ryan Truex and Martin a little bit and some of those guys. And I was brand new, kind of showed me the lines. But, I just couldn't run it. Just didn't have the feel tonight. Been gone all week and just couldn't keep the right rear runner to run it as hard as Daniel and Josh there. So I had to give up a little bit and about cooked it there at the end and tried driving in harder and scraped the wall just a couple of times. But overall, not a bad run.
Nah, man, you're up here talking with us with the podium finish, so I don't think it's a bad run at all. Did you think with that late caution with about that where you guys kind of started green with about 40 to go, you think you were going to be able to be in contention for that win, or were you kind of content with where you were? You just want to secure the position you were at?
No, actually, I was kind of glad it tightened things up and felt like I was holding on to Daniel. He and I had a really good race here last time we were here. Like I said, though, it was a night race, but felt like I could kind of hang on with the 40 laps and really drove it hard to stay there. And that right rear just got really hot. Kevin made a run or two at me, and I kind of got in the wall trying to fend him off. And at that point, probably 20 laps into it, it was more kind of survival. And then, of course, here came Tommy Ryan. Tommy's great. So, yeah, at that point, I was just trying to hold on to third.
And it did, man. So after a decent race here for starting off the playoffs at Darlington, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for this third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation and John Mushton, painting the cars. Want to shout out to my Sim500 Mafia teammates tonight. Jimmy Coleman, which is admin, does a great job. And Glenn Campbell, you guys at OSRN. And, glad to get this thing going. Glad to get the chase rolling and to see what we can do, where we can end up in this thing.
Heck yeah, man. So after a good points night for you, bringing it home third place tonight at Darlington, Robert Gillenwater, man. Looking forward to talking to you soon. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you a lot.
There you go, man. Coming home here tonight in that third place. Well, this guy here just dominating performance, Daniel Falkenham. Daniel, join the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, you came out here, just a dominating performance. Was you a little worried there, though, in that last, with that caution and how those guys were able to hang on to you?
Yeah, that caution definitely, I thought, ruined my strategy. But then here I come going across turn one, and I see Ryan Howard spinning at the bottom of the racetrack. So I was like, okay, this ain't too bad, because pretty much I feel like that this race is going to be decided between me and Ryan. Because he went for, looks like he was going to go for the 2-stop, and I was just going to stay for the 1-stop. And I would have liked to see how that was going to work out for Ryan. That would have been definitely really close there. But yeah, especially on that last run there, the last 40 laps or whatever, Josh and Robert and we're all breathing on my tail. Thankfully, I was able to keep the tires on it, and I was able to drive away in like the last 20 laps and stuff. So definitely tire management was really key tonight, especially saving that right rear, because we were like dead sideways after like 40-50 laps. So yeah, it was definitely intense racing out there, intense driving out there tonight. So yeah, but definitely had to manage my tires there at the end, and I had the track position, so I could pretty much go as slow as I want without hopefully no one passing me. So definitely pretty good management there to be able to hang on for the win.
Yeah, we saw that thing getting loose on you there at the end, and it just seems like it really bites David Comstock the most here at this track. But you came out here, another dominating performance, putting it in the win here to kick off the chase. I know that makes you excited because you came in here with a pretty good lead to begin with a bonus. But hey, you go in, well, we're off next week, but you go to the next week following short track racing. I know that's got to make you feel better. You got anybody you want to thank for an awesome win, though?
Yeah, I just got to thank First Beat Laps 207 for all they do, for all their support. I got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. You guys have a great broadcast every week. Can't wait to go back and watch this one. Thanks to all the admins, Sim500 who runs the show, Joey and everyone, Jimmy Coleman who runs the show here. Thank everyone who comes out races each and every week. Got to thank everyone at Team Name, Chad Coleman, David Comstock, Josh Parker, Kevin Brown, all those guys. And got to thank thank all the fans who watched tonight, and thanks to all my friends and family for watching as well.
Absolutely. I tell you what, another dominating performance there by Daniel Falkenham. Put in victory and again. Congratulations on the win, Daniel.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
There we go, Daniel Falkenham putting it in victory lane here tonight. Well, Alex, what a win it was.
Yes, sir. I mean, super exciting race here tonight. I believe it was only that one caution we had.
Yep.
Excuse me. Usually that's how it runs here. We run a lot of long green flag runs and one cautionless races here with this group of guys. And we saw it again here tonight. Great race. Good start to the playoffs. Really set the tone for the rest of these two races we got round of 12, Joe.
All right, well, that's going to conclude it. We're going to leave Darlington here tonight. It was a good one for the Sim 500. For myself and everyone, have a good night.